crispy pork, some San Marzano tomatoes, and a sharp pecorino cheese, all come together for something greater than the sum of its parts. Today, we're making welcome. All right, this is not an ingredient-heavy dish. The traditional version only has guanciale, tomato sauce, and a pecorino cheese. I'm going off script a bit by adding some confit garlic and some basil for fragrance, but you can skip these if you feel like being a purist. This is one of the 4 classic Roman pasta dishes. If you swap out the tomatoes for eggs and black pepper, you get carbonara. If you remove the eggs and add a ton of black pepper, you get cacio e pepe. If you take away the tomatoes but keep the guanciale and the pecorino, you get pasta alla gricia, which is basically Amatriciana before tomatoes made their way to Italy. I feel like Romans would really just play musical chairs with the same 4 ingredients, and I respect that. All right, anyways, while I've been yapping, I've been cutting up this guanciale into medium-sized pieces because I want it to hold up in the sauce and stay a little chewy. Tiny bit of olive oil, out of habit, probably doesn't need it. This is not bacon. It's made from the jowl or cheek of the pig and has a deeper and more intense pork flavor. Check your local Italian market to see if they have it. Otherwise, pancetta works just fine. We're gonna slowly crisp this up on a medium heat so it can release all its beautiful porky goodness. Once our guanciale is crispy but still has a little chew to it, I'm gonna take it out and strain the fat, which is gonna be an important flavor component for our tomato sauce. Speaking of tomatoes, I'm using San Marzano tomatoes for this. I buy the whole peeled ones in the can and gently puree them for a smooth consistency. They're a bit brighter than Roma tomatoes, which contrast nicely with all the savoriness from the pork. Clean out our Dutch oven a bit, and I'm gonna confit some garlic cloves. I like to use a small pan or anything fireproof to prop up one side of the Dutch oven. This lets me fully submerge the garlic in the olive oil without needing a gallon of it. We're gonna toast these slowly. You wanna see some gentle bubbling, but we're not deep frying here. Keep an eye on it. Depending on the size of your burner, you might need to ride the heat around a little bit. The goal is to break down the garlic gradually to bring out the sweetness. You'll know it's done when it falls apart with just a light squeeze. And as a bonus, we end up with some incredible garlic-infused olive oil that we can use as a garnish later. Now to assemble the sauce. Let's go in with our rendered pork fat from the guanciale and add our confit garlic. Let that fry up for a second, then go in with the guanciale, saving a little bit aside for a crispy garnish at the end. And our tomatoes. You can add a little bit of salt to taste, but you may not need it because the guanciale is very salty. And finally, some basil leaves. I like to cook this down for about 20 minutes or so. I'll also hit it with some chili flakes for heat. I'm gonna season some pasta water. And I'm using these stubby rigatoni, which are my absolute favorite pasta shape right now. Toward the end of the cook, we're gonna save a little bit of the starchy pasta water, which will help bring our sauce together. And when the pasta is 90% cooked, we're gonna strain it and get these spent basil leaves out. And in a saucepan with the heat on, we're going to start to marry everything together now. Keep it moving, but be gentle. We don't want to break these tubes up. Add some of the starchy pasta water that we saved, which will really help bind everything together. This pasta shape is perfect for this dish because the sauce really gets inside of each tube and gives you this whole big burst of flavor action in your mouth. Once it starts to reduce down a little bit, kill the heat and add some nice sharp Pecorino Romano cheese. In my opinion, finishing a pasta dish like this is absolutely crucial. There's nothing worse than a bunch of plain pasta with a glob of sauce on top. And now we're going to plate this up. I'm going to garnish it with the reserved crispy guanciale pieces for a nice crunchy contrast. Then some of the garlic olive oil we made. And some not so traditional basil leaves for color. Last and final step, some Pecorino Romano cheese on top. And that's all she wrote, folks. My favorite weeknight pasta dish. Even the most hardened pasta purist would be hard-pressed to scoff at this one. Only thing to do left is to see how we did. Oh yeah. All right, we did it again. I'll see you guys later.